Hello and welcome to the Power of You.
Thank you. Oh, sorry. Them.
That was hello.
Hello. Where am I? Welcome to Power of You. This is I look forward to these conversations every week. And this will be a fun one today.
Yeah, we're continuing this exploration of the hidden laws. And by the way, I'm Blaine Bartlett.
And
your co-host.
Doland White. There you go. Co-host with in the man whose shadow I walk in. It's a great place to be. I'm enjoying it.
Well, that's because you shine such a bright light. I can't help but create a shadow.
Okay, enough. Hang on. There we go. All right, I feel good. I'm better.
More better now. So
I'm more better.
So yeah, this power of you. I mean, this is what we're looking at here: the power of you. And Doland and I are doing this show, and it is. I mean, we're going to syndicate this little puppy.
Yeah.
But we're coming into, I think, probably about we're bumping 30 of these, I think, right now, coming close to that. Every week we're doing one of these.
Maybe more. Yeah.
This particular series is on something that we're calling the hidden laws of leadership. And there's 7 of them, 7 hidden laws.
Yeah.
And we developed this a number of years ago, and I used to teach this live. But we're bringing you a truncated version of this. This is actually a 5-day long training program that we're offering in little bites, 7 hours it's not even hours, 45 minutes each bite.
Right.
But we're looking at this, and the idea here is that there are laws in leadership, and we're going to talk about what leadership is here in just a minute. But there are laws that are in play all the time. Yeah, they're just there. And if you don't know what they are, they can kind of bite you in the rear end if you're not careful. And you can actually leverage them pretty effectively if you are being mindful and paying attention.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Which is why it's fun to talk about the hidden laws.
The hidden laws.
Ooh, the hidden laws.
What's under here? Let's lift this up and see.
Yeah.
The little Chiron that you see down below here, I'm going to keep this running for a while. I'm a chancellor at the Napoleon Hill Institute, and this is kind of a summary of one of the things that Napoleon Hill used to talk about, which was, you have to be in a position of giving before you can receive, and translate that into leadership and how you actually scale and develop an organization. The price of success has to be paid in advance. You have to invest in yourself, you invest in your people, you invest in your organization. That's how you begin to scale. It's the cliche version of this is there is no free lunch. So we're going to just kind of run this across the bottom here as a way to kind of, in your thinking, you're not spending time with us. You're actually investing time. You're investing. There's a price. So you're investing right now, and there's an expectation of a return on that investment. That investment in this case of your time. And with that in mind, I hope it invites you to, look through the lens of how can I use this material for myself and for my people and for my organization.
Absolutely. Let's dive into that with the tone you're looking for.
Well, there you go. Which AI agent was that?
I have no idea what that was, other than I updated my phone, as I mentioned to you right before we hit go.
Yeah.
And it's things talk to me now. And it's set to mute. I don't know what's going on. So something is talking to me. I'm going to throw it in the drawer so it can't. There we go. It's in the drawer.
Always listening.
It's weird. It's kind of, it was like something spoke up. I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
The voice of God.
The voice of God. Yeah. But, it's kind of back to what we're actually doing, other than my phone losing its mind today. I got to figure out, I don't know how to turn that off. I'll figure it out. Or get a hammer. Someday I'll end up with a flip phone. I could just see that coming. But,
Back to the future.
It is, but I love the conversation that as you're kind of pointing to it, Blaine, which is, we talk about this a lot, which is staying in the study.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and when you invest that time, it was fun because I had a conversation with one of my clients this morning, and we were talking about time and the value of time, and when you're trading $1 for 1 minute or $5 for 1 minute. And what are the activities associated with those things, and where do you really want to spend your time? And that opportunity to stay in the study, to stay fresh with the content, and that's what you're doing here. Those that are watching us or watch us on the replay, that's what you're doing with your time. Is you're in that 5 to 1. If this was a finance call, we'd call it PE. So you're in that 5 to 1 PE zone on your career when you hang out and invest time in this. So We'll do our best to make it 7 to 1, 12 to 1. But at a minimum, let's go for 5. So there you go.
Well, we're going to start off with a quote here that I think some of you have probably seen before if you're watching them, and if you have been involved in any kind of study around manifestation and that sort of thing. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. This is, of course, Nikola Tesla.
Yeah.
Everything vibrates. Everything is always in motion. Anything that you see in front of you, around you, that you can touch, smell, hear. I mean, all of it is just quanta of light that has been slowed down to the point of being able to, notice it. All it is energy in motion, and that's what light is. It's everything around us is light. First, let there be light. There is light, and it shows up as a chair. It shows up as a book. It shows up as a body. Everything in the universe is energy that is vibrating and is in motion. In vibration, there's a frequency. There's a bandwidth. We talk about a field of energy. We live in a field, an energetic field, that is populated by wave functions that when we start to pay attention and notice, they start collapsing into particles. And those particles are still light, and those particles give birth to form. And that form looks like your organization. That form looks like an idea that you're latching onto, that sort of thing. You want to find the secrets of the universe? Think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. That's what we're paying attention to. And that is literally the law of vibrational fit from a leadership perspective.
I love that. The conversation is fresh on my mind around this from guests. And I think people lose track of that. And we talk about it when we get into the definition of leadership, right? How you show up and influence. And that's a key component of this conversation today around vibrational fit. There is a vibration. When we walk into the room, there is a vibrational stance that we carry with us the moment we show up, and how we show up matters.
It does, because it sets things in motion, and that's what a leader does. A leader sets things in motion. A leader causes movement. So that's what we're doing here when we're defining leadership. It's the activity of influencing others in order to co-create coordinated movement in pursuit of a worthy ideal. So when we dissect this definition, we start kind of carving it out into pieces. The problem with carving it out into pieces is we lose the whole, the construct of the whole. But it's important to understand what the whole is made up of.
Right.
So, this idea of influencing, we're not talking about command and control, which is what most people think of when they think of the leader, the one that's directing traffic. Do this. I am the boss. Go in that direction. That is not what we're talking about. As you mentioned, Doland, when you walk in the room, you're influencing the minute you walk in the room. This is called leadership presence. You're causing movement just by the fact that you're showing up.
Right.
Is it effective movement? That's the question we want to look at here, which is where the other parts of this definition come into play here.
Right.
Do people behave do they behave because they feel like they have no choice? It's I have to do this. Command and control says to do it. hierarchy. If I don't do it, I'll lose my head, that sort of thing. Or am I doing this because I want to do it? And that's where co-creation comes into play. Yeah. People will move in a co-created fashion if there's something in it for them. And we're going to talk about that in a minute here. And then the last two pieces here, go ahead.
No, I was going to say in co-creation, that's where inspiration begins to live. That's the spark of inspiration. And we've talked about movement before, but that idea around coordinated movement is that it's that opportunity in your organization or in your family, in your life, when you're with people around you. So how do we co-create a coordinated movement so that we are all moving together? We all don't have to be in agreement, which is another conversation.
Yeah.
But we're moving forward in a coordinated manner, which means we've made a commitment. And then, of course, that last part we'll dive into it right now, which is in pursuit of a worthy ideal and pursuit of the worthy ideal. We'll go to that slide. We talk about this every time.
We have one here,
and we will always talk about this every time. The worthy ideal is not your vision. It is not. We're going to increase sales 10%. It is not, I'm going to ship 10 more pallets today. Those are things.
Yep.
It is the answer to what matters.
What matters?
What matters for the sake of what matters me. Yeah. And things when you're in all, as leaders, there's a whole series of decision-making tools that we have in this series of Power You. The root is for the sake of what? For the sake of what? And it is the worthy ideal. And your worthy ideal, by the way, is unique to each individual in your organization.
And the power.
And you can tell them what it is, by the way.
Wrong.
I can't say that with a straight face. So anyway.
I had a student that I introduced this to about 5-6 years ago, this notion of for the sake of what. And he pinged me yesterday and he said,
cool.
This thing, the for the sake of what has stayed with me for 6 years. It's awesome. Every time things start to go a little wonky, I come back to for the sake of what. When it starts to go wonky, people have missed a connection to it. When we get that back in front of them, boom, things start to work again. This is a powerful, and people confuse this with why. Why are we doing this? It is not the same. It is not the same. And I love Simon Sinek. I love that. His TED talk on that. That's a starting place. From a leader's perspective, this is when you're looking at vibrational fit, people vibrate. Quote unquote. They a different word for it. They resonate with what matters to them. When you can tap into what matters, all of a sudden people, they kind of pay attention. Their head snaps up. That's where inspiration is born. Yeah, that's where it lives here. It lives here. So, how do you find us? I mean, we've got just a couple of quotes here, but this one, Neville Goddard. I love Neville Goddard. I study Goddard every day. In some way, shape, or form here. And this is from a little tiny book that he put out called The Power of Awareness. And when you know that consciousness is the one and only reality, you are free from the tyranny of second causes. Stop, pause, hold on just a moment. Just take that. You're free from the tyranny of second causes. There is no other cause except consciousness. Consciousness. Max Planck, we can get behind everything, but we cannot get behind consciousness. And Max Planck was the father of quantum physics, for those of you that may not know this. Yep. This will free us from the belief that there are causes outside of our own minds that affect our lives, affect our organizations, affect our people, and how our teams function. Consciousness is vibration. That's what we're looking at here.
Yeah, I love this. I love this quote. And for those of you as leaders who haven't studied Goddard and haven't picked up a copy of The Power of Awareness, get a copy.
Get a copy.
Pack a
Little
lunch.
tiny book.
And pack a lunch. Because you're going to be there for a while. Because you're going to read something over and over and over and over and over. But as you begin to uncover the depth of what Neville's talking about, what Goddard's talking about. And I love that line. When you know that consciousness is the one and only reality, you are free from the tyranny of second causes. And as a leader, when you think about that, when you come to realize what that means to your life, to leading an organization, leading the people that you're associated with, it's liberating.
Yeah, oh boy. Yeah.
It's liberating when you really truly begin to understand that and then begin to think in the mechanics of how do I apply that? So what do I do with it?
Yeah. You're not getting the result that you want because of a lack of funds or a lack of people. You're not getting the results because of the consciousness that has produced a lack of funds,
yes,
a lack of people. You start with consciousness. Shift that consciousness. Every result that you have in your organization, and think here in terms of your ledger sheet. How much money do we have to work with? That is a material manifestation of a state of consciousness, of a particular vibration.
Correct.
That has been manifested over time into what you call your bank account.
Right. I love that. There's a key word in there that you mentioned, Blaine, I don't want to lose track of, which is the word because. Because. Right? We tend, right, because. Which when we and I'll get to use a special word, a $3 word, bifurcate. When you bifurcate the word because into what it really is, because. But when you think of that and you begin to understand that you are free from the tyranny of second causes, it eliminates because out of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
It removes it.
Yep.
And it it is a dramatic shift, and in particularly when you learn how to do that, implement that with your team.
Exactly. Yeah. Which is where we're going with this. You set a leader, and I'm going to say you, because you're listening to this, but you as a leader, whether you have a title that says you're a leader or not, you are a leader because you're always causing movement. You're always causing movement.
Yeah.
In some way, shape, or form.
Intentional or unintentional. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Your intention makes no difference here. You're causing movement.
It's something's happening. Yeah.
So we're looking here at a question of effectiveness. And part of effectiveness is recognizing that you set the ceiling. I mean, you set the ceiling on this is your thinking sets the ceiling on how far your organization is going to grow. And what I love this little additional sentence here. This is an axiom, a law that I coined called Bartlett's first law of leadership. You get what others perceive you're willing to settle for.
Yes. Yeah. It's what I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just was going to say, go ahead. Having practically applied that to teams, and you have and I have, and we do that with our clients together. Mm-hmm. It's a hard lesson for leaders. When they settle for good enough, your team will do good enough.
Yeah, that's the default.
They will rise to the level of expectations you set for them. And I love, and if you don't set it, they will make up their own story and perception steps in the door.
Absolutely. And it's interesting how this shows up in language. I mean, every organization has got its pet set of reasons for why things can't get done. And when you start backing up and taking a look at what goes on dynamically, you'll see that the managers, the leaders in the organization, when they're presented with these reasons about why things can't get done, they kind of go, oh, God, I know what you're talking about. And we've run into that before. They fold the tent and that's it. They don't have a way to overcome that objection, that barrier, that obstacle. They see it as a stopping point, and that's what they end up with. They get movement up to that point. What you want, the law of vibrational fit, has to do with what are people fitting into? What level are they fitting into?
Yeah.
And there's three components that we're looking at here. And we'll just go through these three here in this next conversational piece here. Requisite variety. I mean, I just like the language on that. Requisite variety. What does that mean? We'll talk about
exactly.
That.
That's
Embodied commitment.
Yep.
Most people don't have a clue what true commitment actually is about from a leadership perspective. They think it's about something out there. We're committed to making that happen. We're committed to that target. And then the other one has to do with beauty, being the basic metric that you use to gauge how effective you're being, in moving people in the concert with this definition that we work, influencing in order to co-create coordinated movement in pursuit of a worthy ideal. When you're doing that well, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Ease and elegance, baby. Ease and elegance. That's where you're heading. So spend some time. If you go back to that slide just quickly. Yep. Oh well. Anyway, we're going to go on. Let's go further into it.
Okay.
There we go. Requisite variety.
The language on this now. This is a term out of systems dynamics. When you study systems, the net of it is the element in a system that has the most choices available to it will be the dominant element in that system.
Yep.
So when your people and they say, yeah, but we can't do that because if you don't have more ways to handle that objection than they have to present that objection, you're going to be stuck with that objection. That's essentially what we're doing here. And your impact will be limited. You will be impactful only to the point where that obstacle, barrier, objection, story, reason, excuse has appeared. So the idea here is the element in the system, which is a vibrational state. It exists as a vibration. The one that has the higher frequency will be the dominant element in the system. And by higher frequency, we're talking about it encompasses more. It encompasses more. Greater variety absorbs lesser variety. And when we're talking about variety, we're talking about variety of choices. How many choices do I see available to how we work? Higher frequency, more choices. It's more global. So you make your impact through variety of choice. The power of awareness is that it opens the window onto what choices have we not been thinking about or recognizing as being possible.
That's such an important thing. If you're listening to this on replay, rewind about 30 seconds and listen to that last sentence. Not that this is not that, I mean, you said other things that were really good too, by the way, but the last sentence. But no, when you think about requisite variety, it is that, the more the complexity of your leadership has got to match the complexity of the environment, the thing that you're working with, that you're trying to solve. And it is a law, by the way. When we talk about hidden laws, it is a law on what your organization will think and do, your team. So it's important. If we talked about influencing, co-creating coordinated movement, right? This requisite variety means you're creating movement. Something has happened and you're going to create movement. So now there are choices. And that choice variety has got to be in alignment with the complexity of what you're trying to solve. And you got to co-create it, by the way.
You got to co-create.
I'm going to reflect back on the leadership part. So,
yeah.
But I love that. Objective is moving possibility to probability into reality. How do we think differently?
Yeah, possibility exists as a vibrational state. Everything is possible. Everything has been invented 2 times. Once as an idea, and then second as a physical manifestation. Right. The role of a leader is to create visibility to possibility. The role of management is to take that possibility and start talking about it in a way that it becomes a probability in people's minds.
Yeah.
And if it can be recognized as a probability, now you've got some leverage to turn it into a reality, because
Right.
people can actually probability, this is probably going to happen. I can see how this could work.
Yeah. I love that you leaned in on that, because it is lead, manage, do. It is that, what are the things, what is that possibility? Probability then is that management role. That's that chewy nougat piece. And the reality part is it's the team. It's the, it's the creamy nougat in the middle of the Three Musketeers bar. And anyway,
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that's my favorite candy bar.
I know it is.
You'd never know by looking at me. But I love this. When you, and as a leader, study this. I mean, when you talk about requisite variety in your organization, and in your thinking about the things that you want to move forward, or the alignment or changes in the strategy, or there's the strategy, vision, tactics piece, right, that you deal with. Requisite variety becomes a component of that, because it puts your thinking out in front, not behind. Which is where you want to be, by the way.
Which is where you want to be in front. And
embodied commitment.
You are a symbol of what it is you say you want to have happen. When you walk in the office, when you come into the plant, when you come onto the floor, people take out a set of glasses and they start watching you.
Yeah.
And they go, what's important to him or her? What are they paying attention to? They hear your words. They listen to you. They look at where you spend your time, how you spend your time, all of that stuff. You are a living, breathing, vibrational symbol of what it is that you want to produce in your organization. Now, here's, if you look at this graphic, most people, and this is how language shapes reality. Language is both a reflector of and a creator of reality. And people will talk about goals and objectives in the context of, I'm committed to making that happen. I am committed to. Now,
yes.
The two, it's out there somewhere. It's out there in the future. It's out there physically. Someplace it exists out there. I am a commitment as a statement of beingness. It lives inside me.
Yeah.
I am a commitment. How do I need to think? How do I need to speak? How do I need to move? How do I need to, fill in the blank to represent that ideal, that worthy ideal?
Yeah, I love this. When I was looking at this slide earlier in the week, I love this conversation about embodied commitment, because it is to your point, Blaine, it's very different to say, I am committed to it, blah, 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 blah. And there is and leaders, this, and you've had this occur to you, you're in a meeting and the boss stands up and says, I'm committed to Gucci. But that person isn't that commitment.
Right.
And you leave the room. What is the first thing that goes through your mind? Well, that was a bunch of horse bucky.
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody's really committed. He's committed to it, but I've seen stuff before that he's been committed to, and we drop that and we change. When you identify as the commitment, I am a commitment, it changes that dynamic and removes that squishiness. I am that commitment. And I love your comment, Blaine, around it shifts that dynamic on who do I need, from I am committed to, which is what am I going to do, to I am a commitment to who do I need to be or become.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which is extremely powerful. That's when your team's inspiration, which you're striving for, you pour cement and that inspiration becomes part of the foundation. Now it becomes immovable. And
that's where the co-creation piece of our leadership definition really carries water. I mean, that's the heavy lift right there, because when it's co-created, people feel as if it's theirs. They own it. It's inside them.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
You get to go home, and when your wife says, or husband or special partner or your 10-year-old son or daughter says, what'd you do today? Let me tell you. Because I feel this is what I did. This is how I contributed. This is what I did, which is that personal value part.
And that impact, when your personal value impact, you have impact, vibrational impact with this shift in language. It's vibrational impact.
Yeah. Anyway, I would challenge anybody listening to this to watch people's visage. Watch their visage. It will tell you where they are vibrationally. And we see that, by the way, sometimes, in particularly, I see that with my wife when I say, where's the mayonnaise for the 5th time? So I could see the visage that says, I'm going to get you some help.
Yeah.
So, but watch your teams and watch that, and then work at it from the other way around with I am a commitment, and notice the shift. Watch that shift, and you will see them physically change.
Yeah, there's a physiology to it. There really is. There's a physiology to it.
It's part of the vibration.
Yeah. And when all of it starts to come together, it starts to look pretty. Now, I'm being facetious here.
I mean, look at that.
Pretty and beauty are two different things.
Yes.
Pretty is a recognition of an aesthetic, physical thing. It's kind of, that's pretty. Beauty, and the way that we're looking at it here, has to do with the soul of that idea, the soul, that enlivening piece being projected out into physical form. Right. That's when it's beautiful. When that desire to that wants to give birth to something is allowed to give birth, that's beautiful. Leadership is beautiful when it awakens desire.
Yeah.
And desire is possibility seeking expression, or function seeking performance. I mean, just think about I desire this, or that's desirable. What's really going on there? Yeah, it's right. Desire. In this last sentence here, desire is the fuel of power, and leadership requires power in order to be sustained. You're going to get a lot of pushback whenever you start introducing change into an organization, which is absolutely going on when you start scaling your organization. If you're scaling without an eye towards maintaining connection to that thing that is desirable, that is the kernel of the organization, you start losing connection to that soul of the organization, all bets are off. You can scale, but now you don't. It's a hollow process. And it will collapse. It's not beautiful when that happens.
It is and it's a matter of time. It's death and taxes at that point. It will occur. It will occur. And there will be many symptoms around that. But I love the conversation about the laws, but in particular around vibrational state. And as we talk about beauty, but that it awakens desire. Desire and inspiration go hand in hand. Desire is possible seeking expression of function seeking performance. And it is that as a leader, that's what you're seeking to awaken in your team. And you think about what you do inside of the organization from your relationship to people, right? An organization is merely a collection of people in a relationship. Okay. And it's so much easier without people. When you
yes, it is.
There you go. But when you think about that as a leader, that is where you reach sustainability. That's where you maintain connection. That's where you can continue to scale with new velocity, and innovation begins to take place. So now the organization, and it's not always going to be perfect and things aren't always going to be beautiful, but in that state that you create that power where you can now use that power as it's your tool, not only for the business, but for your people.
That's And when we think about this through the lens of leadership, because you are working with people, it's all relationship. And relationships by definition are messy, but that doesn't mean they're not beautiful. If you're doing this well, I mean, when something starts to wake up and starts to be birthed, it's messy. It's messy. Don't confuse tidy and neat with beauty. What we're looking at here is energy. What we're looking at is what is moving. When it moves, and here's the key on this: minimal unintended consequences. When you can do this well as a leader, what you end up doing is you're creating the possibility of people, of the organization, and of yourself moving with minimal unintended consequences, because you're tapped into something that is intelligent. What wants to be brought to life is intelligent. There's a blueprint inside it that looks to be expressed. And if you can get out of the way, then it can be expressed with minimal unintended consequences. Unintended consequences show up when we start imposing our judgments on how it's supposed to unfold.
Yeah, that's when we think we have will. No.
Yeah.
No. We impose our norm on it, because that's how I would do it. The way you're doing it can't be right, because you're abnormal.
Yep.
So
there is a right way to do that.
Yes, or unnormal. I'm not sure which, but anyway, unnormal.
So
this is so good.
I love this one. Go ahead.
Train yourself to think of and to look upon the world as something which is becoming, which is growing, and to regard seeming evil as being only that which is undeveloped. Take a breath. Take a breath. Always speak in terms of advancement. To do otherwise is to deny your faith, and to deny your faith is to lose it. And there's about 15 pounds of content in those three sentences. Maybe more. But Wallace Wattles, if you haven't read The Science of Getting Rich, pick it up, read it cover to cover, and then read 4, 7, 11, and 14 for 90 days every day.
Yeah, chapters 4, 7, 11, 90.
Yeah, just trust me. Do it. It takes about 20 minutes. You can do it every day. But as you go through that, when you think of that, let's go backwards, right? To do otherwise is to deny your faith, and deny your faith is to lose it. Faith can be expanded into words of trust. Faith expands into vulnerability. Faith expands into how we communicate. Faith is how we present. Faith is how we inspire. Faith is a prerequisite to those things. So when you do otherwise, and if you go backwards again to the next sentence, always speak in terms of advancement. I don't know how many times have you've been in meetings, or I've been in meetings, or together, where the terms aren't in advancement.
Right.
And they start,
marketing is going to shoot a hole in this.
Yeah. Those finance people, or that blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then train yourself to think of and look upon the world as something which is becoming. You were talking about this in the last one. This is a great wrap-up slide around beauty. Everything is always looking for a way to fully express itself. Mm-hmm. I would challenge any leader listening to this to send me a text. I'll give you my phone number. Actually, I'll give you Blaine's phone number. Send Blaine a text. And tell us that you're not seeking ways to fully express yourself. Because we all are. Yeah. It's a level playing field. We seek full expression, and it's a different meaning for every person. And that's growing. And when we aren't doing that we are seeming evil as being only that which is undeveloped. And evil is this is not a heaven-hell thing.
No.
We're not talking, there's no good, bad, evil as we are seeing evil. We are not doing this only being that which is undeveloped. So I've gone on enough about all of this. There you go. Yeah, do it.
Evil on this end, good on this end. It's all a continuum. It's all part of the single whole.
Yep.
It's all part of the single whole. It can't exist without the polarity. Part of the law of vibration is the law of polarity.
Right.
And there's not an up without an down. There's not an inside without an outside, but we assign value to that which we don't desire, and we call it evil.
That is
in some way, shape, or form. So when you're looking at this, part of the faith sentence there has to do with this worthy ideal, having faith that it does exist. We just haven't arrived. You put that in, it already exists. It already exists. We just haven't gotten there.
Yeah.
And that's why when we're speaking in terms of advancement, we're going to run into obstacles. The obstacle would only exist if we were on the path to the realization of that worthy ideal. Otherwise, we wouldn't run into that obstacle. So it's not a barrier. It's actually just a signal that we are on the right path. Now we get to grow and learn something in order to address this barrier, this perceived evil that's blocking our path. No, it's just a way that it allows us to grow as a person, as a team, as an organization. Yeah. That's what all of that's about. And all of this is organized around growth, expression.
Yeah.
And all of these are levels of vibration.
Right. And it's what we should, after this series, let's just do one just on vibration.
Oh, absolutely.
Just on the physics of vibration. We can bring a cat. We can each see where our cat is. Anyway, another.
Bring a cat.
We can get Schrodinger's. We can go find some named Schrodinger. We can get a cat. So, but I love that though, and in particularly the point, Blaine, that you make around the fact that when we're on that path, I did make that point here as well. But when we're on that path, those bumps, those things that we see that may be a situation or a condition, those are parts of being on the path. This is what it looks like on our journey to here, to this place. This is what it looks like. And if you're not having, as a leader, if you're not, and I'm sure every leader listening to this, you have those bumps and bruises every day. If you're not, you're sitting in a car in a parking lot somewhere with your engine off.
Yeah,
you're not going anywhere.
And if you're doing this well, you're going to have new problems, barriers, obstacles that you've never encountered before. That is a great sign. If you're coming into the the day dealing with stuff you've dealt with for the last 4 years, something's off.
Yes,
something's off. You're not growing. You're not being challenged, and neither are your people. Inspiration is not there, and you got people going through the motions.
Yeah, and your people will leave you.
Yes, they will. So we want to make sure that they don't leave you. So what do you do about that?
Good segue. That was very smooth. We've done this before. So as it says on this slide, look, one of the things that this is another law that we talk about with leaders is it's difficult to do things by yourself. Matter of fact, I just responded to a gentleman with an old redneck saying it's hard to read the label from inside the jar with the lid on. So,
yes.
Hard to see the label. So schedule a call with us. There's a link here, cal.com/team/SOBM. And SOBM stands for Solo Business Mastermind. But reach out to us and schedule a call. The intention for the call is to talk about where you are, what it is that you may have learned or didn't learn, or what challenges that you're facing, to seek insights with that. And if there's a fit, we would love to help you do that. There's benefits to helping you do that. And if not, there's not a fit, because fit is reciprocal, then we can at least give you some ideas that you can go try. Because we've done this between us. It's about 90 years worth of experience between us. Sad but true. So
sad but true.
Sad but true. So reach out to us. We'd love to have a conversation with you. And it's generally about 20 minutes unless you invite us to stay longer. So that's that's our call to action.
cal.com/team/SOBM.
Perfect.
So that's today's Power of You. And
awesome.
Want to thank you for listening to us.
Yeah.
And we'll
Great
See you
topic.
on the next episode. We're going to be continuing this exploration on the hidden laws of leadership.
That's right. We got a good one next week. Well, they're all good. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Dr. Bartlett, as always.
I'll see you on the flip side.
On the flip side.
Okay, buddy. You take care.
See you, man. Thanks.
Bye.